Today I'm gonna go through and explain to you how my typical workday goes. I am a full-time writer, so I thought it would be nice to give you an idea of how I work and what I do on a daily basis. Okay, so first of all, of course I wear no makeup. I walk from my bedroom to my office. I do get dressed every morning, just so you know. I usually put on whatever clothes I am going to wear for the day in case I have to run out for errands or things like that. Today I am throwing my hair up because it is hot. It is hot, and in the morning the sun rises from in front of me, so it comes through this side of the office to the back of the house, so it's very pretty warm in my office in the mornings, even with the AC. So first thing I do in the morning when I get up is make myself a cup of tea and kind of walk around the house, tidy up or whatever, get my thoughts straight. And then I come and sit down and start work. I work normally from about 9 o'clock in the morning until I stop about noon. I might take a quick break to eat, Throughout that time I do take 10 or 15-minute breaks to do things around the house. I then sit down and do my work. So the first thing I do in the morning is check my sales stats. I just like to check and see where I'm at, see if there's any adjustments that I did over the day before that helped my sales, things like that. Because it's good to stay on top of what is going on day to day as far as what you're doing on your social media or ads to see how they are impacting your sales. I like to stay on top of that because if something worked and I want to repeat it, if something totally bombed and my sales for some reason died, I like to go back and see, okay, what happened? What did I do? What did I not do? So yeah, first thing in the morning I like to do is check my stats. I also, once that is done and I go over some things, write some notes, then I go through and review my email, make sure there's nothing that I have to take care of that's due. Lots of times I have like projects and things like that in there that are expecting replies from me. My cover artist, my formatters might be emailing me, my web designer, things like that. So I go through and review my email and once again, write down any notes. And let me show you what I do. I have these little notebooks. The glare, there we go. Well, anyway, you can kind of get an idea. They're about 9 by whatever. They're very slender, and I put every note in here. I have like running to-do lists that I do depending on what. I apologize for the glare. There we go. So I keep notes of things to do, like little brain dumps, things that come up on my emails, things like that. I write it all down in here. So just as I'm checking my email, as I'm reviewing ads, things like that, if an idea comes up, I keep this notebook on the side of my desk over here so that I can write down any notes. And then I like that size because I keep these notebooks in my planner pouch. This is my planner. I have my planner in here. And so this is the one planner that I can take with me everywhere. So I keep these little notebooks tucked in here because they have little elastic bands that'll hold them in place. So I take notes and make sure that whatever needs to be done, I can come back and look at and so on and so forth. So once I take my notes, this notebook stays open on the side of my desk to remind me that there are things that I need to take care of and do. And this kind of works for me because I used to write down notes on different little pieces of paper, and of course we all know what happens to that. If it's something that has to do with a project and something that I need to keep remembering, then I will transfer it over to my my writer's notebook, which I have done a video on, which also stays on the side of my desk. And so, if it has to do with the project, then of course it's added to my projects tab, and then I'm adding whatever new information that I didn't know or things like that. So that is that. So once I am done with my email and my stats, then I do go into Facebook, aka Time Vampire, And one thing that I need to start doing, which I don't, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I normally go into Facebook to update my status and lose about 30 minutes because, of course, you go down the rabbit holes. Unfortunately, Facebook is one of those things that I have to do and check first thing in the morning because I am involved in 6 projects right now, I think, and we have Facebook groups, so I have to go into the Facebook groups to see if anybody has any updates or changes or things that we have to do. Otherwise, I'll be out of the loop and I'll be that guy, which I normally am that guy. I miss something and everybody else has done it, and then I get a private message and I don't want to be that guy anymore, so I go in there and check my groups. I have a list in my same notebook of the different groups that I have to go in and check, so that I can keep track of the different groups and make sure that I visit them at least once a day. Okay, so that's stats, email, groups on Facebook, and update my Facebook status, check in with my street team. By then, it's getting close to like 10:30. So I said that's when I just take a short break, walk around the house, fix myself my second cup of tea, and then I'm going to sit down and write. I normally, from the night before, and I'll show you what I did last night. From the night before, I will have kind of an idea, a rough idea. This glare is killing me. There we go. I'll have a rough idea of what I need to write. Because the night before, I'm not an outliner or a plotter, so sometimes the ideas come in my head in the shower or whatever, then after I finish writing that day. So last night, I still had some ideas of how I wanted to finish the scene, so I wrote it, kind of scribbled it down in another one of the same type of books. And these are idea books, by the way, and you can get them at jetpens.com. And they have, what do you call this? A graph paper, very thin graph paper. I love it. Very smooth graph paper. Let me see if you guys can see it. There you go. So in here, so like I said last night, I jotted down pretty much how I wanted to finish the scene that I'm currently writing. So once I'm done with that, then I sit down and I review my scene, and then I start writing. I set my timer. Sometimes I don't. If I feel focused, then I don't, and I just write until, get a writer's cramp. Or no, I'm just kidding. Usually I write for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then I take a small break, walk around. Once again, I have on my task list, I have different personal things that I need to take care of. Like today I had to do a birthday gift, but I think I have that together. I have to pack certain things to drop off at a consignment store, or I might have, errand to run, that kind of stuff. So I put that stuff together for when I'm done writing. I can just run to do my errand and everything's together. I might wipe down the bathroom. I have my youngest daughter and her husband, and their 3 little dogs are coming to stay for a few days. So, yesterday during my breaks, I went and straightened out the guest room, wiped down and make sure that the guest bathroom was clean, that kind of thing. Then I come back and write for another 30 to 45 minutes, and you guys know that routine. I keep going until I reach my word count. I right now am not set word counts for myself. Because of all this is going on with my daughter visiting and stuff like that, I am not sure how the rest of the week is going to go, but normally I set my word count at 2,500 words. And other times I set it for 3,000, only because if I don't reach 2,000, I will have gone over the 2,500. So anyway, anytime I go between 2,000 and 3,000, I am ecstatic. Once I do that until about noon, then I take a break and I eat and take my little dogs outside in the front, and we, I take a vitamin D. Yeah, D is what we get from the sun, a vitamin D break, and I go outside and hang out with them for a little bit. And then the afternoon, I repeat the entire morning again, check emails, Facebook, not my stats, but email, Facebook, and kind of review things, and then I spend the afternoon doing marketing or promoting, things like that, so that if I have books I need to promote, releases coming up, cross promotions, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much how my day goes. And like I said, I come into my office between 9 between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and I am usually done and ready to go for the day by 4:30 or 5. So I hope that this gives you some insight into my life as a writer and what I do, and I'm just keeping it real for you guys. If you have any questions about a typical workday or things that perhaps you think you would like to change, or any suggestions for other writers, please leave them down below in the comments. Have a great one. Bye.